We're going to talk about one of my favorite resources as well. It's a little simpler to use than the Feeling Spirit Alive Never Die book, and it's Heal Your Body by Louise Hay. So this was another one of my required readings for care for my Raindrops and VitaFlex certification and education. And I am so glad I got introduced to this when I took my care intensive too. It was just incredible. Um, so even though Feeling Spirit Alive Never Die is my favorite resource, and I will use that all the time, this I use less often, but it's still an amazing resource that I keep on my bookshelf and I do use regularly, just not as often as the other one. So this one seems to emphasize more on replacing negative or old thought patterns with the new, more aligned ones. But it still has the same like physical body symptom and the emotional root attached to it. This one just goes a step further and includes a possible affirmation to use with it. So like right here, acne, you look up the problem, acne, next to it, the probable cause, not accepting the self, dislike of the self, and then the new thought pattern, a possible one you could use. I am a divine expression of life. I love and accept myself where I am right now. So, I mean, depending on your faith beliefs, you could take this as far as you want to go. I would say, like, I am a divine creation made with purpose and intention. I love who I am, who God has made me to be. And I accept myself fully for how I was created. And then, for that, I think the acceptance blend would be really good to pair with that. Even frankincense is a really good grounding and spiritual oil as well. So even I would say something very feminine and loving. So maybe even just harmony or a lang ylang. I feel like that would be a good pairing. So I'll just kind of look at that and go, okay, well, what's the root issue here? And I think really loving myself, accepting myself for who I am would be acne. And anything's going to be good. But if you have the oils on hand for this, you can get really specific and have it be an even better experience for you. So let's just go into another one here. Allergies. I mentioned this before in Feeling Spirit Alive Never Die book. Allergies. Who are you allergic to? Ooh. Denying your own power. So this sounds like kind of maybe toxic relationships or situations or things that just aren't quite right anymore. Maybe outgrowing a relationship or something. And then denying your own power for sure. So especially in a toxic relationship, part of that is denying your own power because you're staying in this place, you're stifling yourself, you're being in a bad state, negative energy. So then going into the new thought pattern or the affirmation, the world is safe and friendly. I am safe. I am at peace with life. So that's just a possible thing. And that, I think, well, that definitely deals with grounding, also being present. I feel it's like present time. Maybe even white angelica would be really good for that. I'm at peace with life. I think frankincense would be good for that too, because that's a spiritual oil, even Palo Santo. Those are just some of my ideas, by the way. So this is how I use this though. That's my thought process. I will see this, I will go through all of that, get a good feel for it and how it relates to me. And then I will see if I have an oil that I think would best fit for it. would be a good fit for it. If I don't have a specific one, I may add that to my order and make sure I have it on hand next time. So the other really cool thing about this book that makes it really unique and special for me is the spinal chart on here. Like, this is legit. It breaks down every single vertebrae as well. Like, this is incredible. And I share this because I've used it for myself and been blown away with how accurate it is. So you can look up, like, if you have a bulging disc or a certain pain in an area, you can look at where it is. Or even if you have like asthma or bronchitis, you can look at it a few different ways. Look up your physical symptom and then see how it connects. So let's just say for me, I've dealt with asthma since I was little, bronchitis. So asthma is 1T, it's related to 1T, and then bronchitis is related to 3T. Those are chronic issues I have. Okay. So asthma also deals with cough, difficulty breathing, shortness of breath, and the area is arms from the elbows down, including hands, wrists, and fingers, esophagus, and trachea. And bronchitis, of course, is connected to lungs, bronchial tube, chest, etc. So what I could do is I could go, well, those are connected to 1T and 3T. Okay, so then I'm going to go to the next page and look up 1T and 3T. So 1T is fear of life, too much to cope with, can't handle it, closing off from life. And I will say that was totally relevant in my childhood, growing up, and even still some things I'm dealing with. So the new thought pattern for the 1T, which specifically I'm going into it, looking at the asthma symptom. I accept life and I take it in easily. All good is mine now. And I will say that definitely triggers a memory for me that I deal with, is accepting good in my life. That goes into my own worth and value, because part of me just has a hard time, cancel clear, has had struggles with that in the past, with accepting good, accepting that I can have good, that I'm worthy of that. So definitely that would be something more for me to continue working on, especially any chronic issue is definitely a chronic emotional or mindset thing I need to work on. So then 3T, which was tied to the bronchitis, which I have had chronic issues in the past. And always, that's kind of where my emotion stuff shows up, is lung areas for sure. So inner chaos, deep old hurts, inability to communicate, 100%. Okay. So, and this definitely goes back to childhood issues, and being a child goes with that inability to communicate because no one was listening to me as a child when I was trying to voice the things that were going on in my own way. So that also leads to that inner chaos. Okay. So then the new thought pattern, the affirmation I would start speaking or something related to it is, I forgive everyone. I forgive myself. I nourish myself. All right. So I have totally worked on forgiving everyone else in a form, because some of the people never fully acknowledged what they did. So you can't have full forgiveness if the person doesn't accept that they've, done something wrong, right? But I've forgiven everyone else to the capacity that I can. I've worked on forgiving myself, definitely. I have gone through that. Nourishing myself, that is definitely an area where I am still currently in that state of having to intentionally work on this. That's self-care. I definitely need to up my self-care and take better care of myself, nourish myself, get more sleep, get more good quality sleep, learn to say no better, and pad my time, pad my schedule, things like that. Give myself more nourishing food, drink more water, all those things. So definitely need to nourish myself. And this is the process with that I can look at this, you can look at this and go, okay, well, check, check, check. And still kind of off there. I definitely need to work on that area. And it's just a really good assessment. It gives you a really good idea of what's going on that you might want to start looking at and addressing. So let's say for forgive everyone and nourishing myself, I would continue doing the forgiveness blend. I actually do have that. I've tried to collect a lot of the good emotional blends for this purpose because I've got so much work to do and keep doing. um, but nourishing myself, I feel like also like the feminine, same with, and you can see they're kind of similar too, like with the 1T and 3T, they're pretty similar. So I would go with something more feminine, more heart related. And I feel like a lang lang would be really good for that for me personally, or maybe even hope or joy. Inner child would be really good because the deep old hurts, inner chaos, and ability to communicate, those go back to the deep childhood wounds. So if you can understand the source of those emotional roots, mine definitely goes back to childhood. So inner child would be really, really good for me. You can just tweak it and make it your own constantly. So it's not like this full on protocol or script thing. This is just a really, really good guide and framework. And the more you get into this, the more you have experience, just like anything else, you will learn and it'll become easier. And then you can do like me and just go, oh, okay, well, that comes to mind, that comes to mind, I'll try that. But at the very core, you can at least get this book and just start, even doing frankincense or lavender or whatever your favorite oil is that you're most drawn to. Don't overthink it. Don't freak out about it. Don't not do it just because you aren't fully sure. Just do it. Okay. Super easy. So I also love, like at the end, Louise Hay gives a loving treatment, just some words of encouragement that we can use and tweak to guide us through. Because I don't know about you, but I sure have, like, it's so easy for me to speak love and life to others, but it's so, so challenging for me to speak that back to myself. Like I will almost do anything to avoid doing that. That is definitely something I really have to work on for me. So just having some of those extra encouragement and guidelines and words kind of already written down, like a script that we can use until it gets a little easier, is so nice and helpful. And just in talking with people, clients, and just it keeps popping up that I'm not alone in that. A lot of people seem to have struggles with this. So just throw that out there. So that is all for now for this book. And make sure to check out the link. And it's super, super inexpensive and definitely highly valuable to keep on your bookshelf. If you can't get any other book, yes, even more so than Feelings Buried Alive Never Die, definitely grab this one. I don't want to say current prices because inflation and all that mess. So, all right, see you in the next video.